Good morning, happy Memorial Day. Good morning, happy Memorial Day. We're here live to answer some questions. We're here live to answer some questions this lovely morning. We're here live to answer some questions this morning. Yes, if you have a question, please put it in the comment. We want to talk about spouses or military families. Basically, that's the subject. Yeah, we're here to answer questions. If you have a question, just put it in the comment section. Hello, Abdullah Sankano, how are you? I'm trying to share this video. We're here to answer questions. Hello, good morning, Charis Kadosh, how are you? I see you have a consultation today, or is it for your friends? Yeah, good morning, good morning. We are just here to, oh yes, it's for you. Okay, no problem. I'll see you then. On Zoom, by the way. Good morning, good morning. How are you? We're just here to answer some questions, and I want to talk about, because it's memorial, so I want to talk about military family type of, type of benefits, or like what exactly they have as far as benefits are concerned. So I'm trying to do that. Let me see. But I'm just putting good morning, Mirna Pizarro. I'm just putting on, like, putting it on IG so that people can get in. That's it. Okay. So how are you feeling this lovely morning? We're here to answer questions, first of all. And if you have a question, just put it in the comment section. We're just going to answer question as we move along with this live session this morning. What else I want to do? I want to answer questions, and I want to talk about military family and immigration benefits. That's it. I don't know if there is a breaking news. The news, we already know the news. When it comes to those immigrations, we already know what's going on. I don't think there's anything that we haven't touched on. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so as far as news are concerned, we already know what's going on, right? Basically, nowadays they are arresting people at the immigration courts, and mostly they're targeting people who've been here for less than 2 years. So basically, the strategy will be, if you have a reason to continue your case, you should try to find to continue it, so that you don't. Because what they will do, they will ask the judge to dismiss the case, and if the case is no longer pending, you get outside of the court. They pretty much arrest, detain, and arrange for transportation, because now the person is placed in expedite removal. So that's how it works. Expedite removal works. So, well, that's what's going on. Let's see if we can talk about, let me share my screen so see if we can talk about military family. Okay. Citizenship for military family members. Spouses of U.S. service member may be eligible for expedited naturalization outside the United States. Children of service member may also be eligible for naturalization or may be eligible for automatically acquire citizenship. Okay. Basically, to apply for naturalization, then you're applying under this section here. Gotta be age of 18 or older, establish that you're spouse of U.S. citizen who is or will be regularly stationed abroad, be authorized to accompany your spouse abroad, be present in the United States as a lawful permanent resident, be present at the time of the naturalization, declare in good faith upon naturalization and intend to reside abroad with your spouse, be able to read, have basic knowledge of U.S. history. Those things we already know. And expedite processing too. Sometimes they do expedite processing. So basically, even for a person who's not a spouse, but a person who enter military, as a lawful permanent resident, they can expedite their citizenship application. You know what I mean? So, and then we have the parole in place. Let me stop here and go to parole in place for spouses or military family. Those are the benefits. So someone was asking, what are the benefits? Yeah, discretionary option for military member enlisted and their family. Parole in place, okay? Okay, so let me talk about, can you do adjustment of status in immigration courts? The simpler answer is yes, you can, but the judge has to basically authorize that. So the way it works is that by the time the person goes to their master hearing, when they ask them what are their defenses, because you know when you enter your pleadings on your master hearing, they ask you what are your defenses. Some people will say they're going to continue their asylum application. Some people's cancellation of removal, 42B. Some people is adjustment of status. That's when you ask for that. On the day you enter your pleadings. If you don't ask for that on the day of pleadings, another way you ask for it is when you file your motion to terminate removal proceedings based on I-130 that is approved. Then in your motion, usually what we say is like, we're gonna adjust status with USCIS, or in alternative, if the judge will allow the adjustment of status in court. That will be up to the judge at that point. If you do it after the fact, it's just up to the judge, but you have to request it. So then the judge knows that you're requesting something. So that's how it works. Okay. Then that will be up to the judge to decide whether or not they want you to adjust status in court or not. Especially when you're asking for it after. You know what I mean? After. So let me share again the screen for, yeah, parole in place for spouses of, this is good for a person who's here unlawfully present, regardless of whether or not the person has been ordered removed. If the person is related to a active duty type of person, like military family, like immediate family, of course, that person can be paroled. Basically, they'll be eligible for parole in place in 1 year increment. Um, you have to be a spouse, widow, parent, son, or daughter. When they talk about son or daughter, if you're a son of a military, it's like under the age, right? Um, I don't know if they talk about son or daughter. Yeah, when it comes to son and daughter here, I believe, I'm not too sure about it because I've never worked for son and daughter, but I believe it has to be under the age of 21. That's what I'm assuming. Uh, but anyway, so active duty member of U.S. Armed Force, individual in the selected reserve of the ready reserve, or individual who, whether still living or deceased, previously served in the active duty. Even if the person in question is passed away, the family member can still benefit, be a beneficiary of parole in place. And parole in place simply allows you to be lawfully present in the United States for the time being that you've been paroled. So, and you have a work permit, regardless of whether you've been ordered removed. Yeah, parole in place still works. Okay. It's just like you parole, you have a work permit. Yeah. And that parole will allow you to later on to adjust status if you have a way to adjust status, because the person initially entered without inspection. So, and now if they're parole, then it's basically that you have parole in terms of being eligible for adjustment of status. Okay. Parole in place may be granted only to individuals who are present without admission, you see, and so are applicants for admission. If you are admitted to the United States lawfully but are present in the United States beyond the period state, you are not eligible for place because you are not an applicant for admission. However, you may qualify for deferred action. So you see, it's usually for people who came without inspection, entry, unlawful entry, and happen to be a member of the military, family member of the military. Whether the person who served in the military, or just whether the person is alive or not, as long as you can show that established relationship, then you be paroled. Provided that you enter without inspection. If you enter with inspection, then you can ask for deferred action, which is kind of difficult to be granted. But you can still ask for that. This is where you file your application. Okay. So, and those are the things that deferred action, you get it for 2 years in increment. Daughter of duty member. Yeah, and those are the things you have to show in order to qualify for that. Okay. It's good for someone to actually get a work permit if they don't have a way to get a work permit. And it's good for adjustment of status for the person who entered without inspection, so they can waive that entry. It really works by holding place for military spouses, family members. Okay. How does it work? Like how? Basically, if you ask the judge to adjust status in court, the way it works is that you're going to file the application for adjustment of status with USCIS. I mean, you're going to pay the fees at USCIS, and everything will be sent to USCIS. However, the copy of the application will be filed in court, and the judge is going to ask the questions in court. Just like the way you were supposed to be asked question at the USCIS officer, now it's the judge and ICE in court. So that's how it works. That's why people don't like it, because the standard is very high. It's better to just terminate, remove for proceedings, and adjust status with USCIS. So that's how it works in court. The one that they're talking about here, they're talking about it in terms of by end of September. So they want to come up with that filings by end of September. So it's not like a matter of because they want to do it during budget reconciliation in terms of, yeah, they for this one. If I have to answer your question, how long? I don't know. I don't really know too much on politics. But as far as the specific one is concerned, what I have heard or researched is that by September 30th, we have to have new filing fees. Yeah, that's the deadlines. If you're trying to know what are the deadlines. Yeah. Yeah, and it's basically that people have to pretty much apply now, because if you qualify for asylum, this is the time to apply, because it's going to be really expensive, $1,000 per application. Can you imagine if you have family members that have to file? It's just like, and then work permit is gonna be 550 for each 50 each 6 months, and then the and then the appeal will be $900. I believe between $800 or $900. So yeah, this is the time to apply if the person qualifies, of course. Otherwise, it really gets expensive. And it looks like it's gonna work because they have Congress, they have the Senate, and they already passed it in the Congress, I believe, right? So yeah. And if a person wants to renew their work permit, they should renew it now, because it's gonna be expensive too, and it's gonna be for every 6 months. So is it already law? It's not law yet, but if the goal is that by September 30th, it's gonna become law. But as of today, it's not law yet. Their goal is that by September 30th, it has to become law. So, but if you're talking about today, no. Today, if a person files for asylum, it's still free to file for asylum. The application is free. That's why I'm saying that if a person is qualified to apply for asylum, they should do it now, because that application really is going to be expensive. It's really going to be expensive. It's gonna be almost, and they want the green card to be like $4,000. I don't know. So work permit will be coming with 5 years still. That's what I think. If it passes by September 30th, those who apply early, they should get it the 5 years. That's how law works. It don't work so. But the people who are applying after the law passes, those are the one who's gonna have problem. So that's what I believe is gonna happen. But you never know with those people. I don't trust nobody. But the suggestion is that if a person is concerned, they have to renew their if they're eligible to renew their work permit, they have to renew it now. And if they qualify for asylum, they have to file now. Okay. Yeah. So how's the GOP? That's what they said. They wanted to be. Yeah. Okay. It's even here on Boundless. Says House Republican proposed work permit 550 and renewal and asylum application 1,000. Okay. Um, if a person wants to sponsor a child, that would be 3,500. Um, yeah, and 100 a year if the asylum is still pending. You're paying USCIS $100 each year. Your asylum is pending, but that's not your fault if your asylum is pending. But anyway, that's what they're saying. And appeal will be around 900, I believe. Um, so that's what they're saying. Okay. And to be honest, this thing it might become reality. Uh, yeah, it's there are a lot of chances that it becomes reality because they have everything. They have the House, they have the Senate. Yeah, they can do it. Yeah, so basically that's what's going on. I want to see if we have a different type of news. Yeah, if you have a question, just please put it in the comment. We're just here to answer questions, okay? So I don't have a specific um I don't have specific stuff to talk about because it's Memorial Day. I don't see a lot of news going on. Probably tomorrow we'll have news, but if you have a question, just put it in the comment section so we can answer the question. Yeah. Do we have questions? Not? Okay. Let's see. So those who apply now, if approved after, will it be 5 years? I think so. Um, if I have to be honest, that's how the law works, right? They have cut-off dates. People apply early, they get benefits from previous policy. People who apply after the law has already passed, then they go with the new law. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it has worked in the past. But with this administration, there's nothing guaranteed. Yeah, so if they come and change, don't come up for me and say, oh, she said this. No, 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 no. With this administration, to be honest with you, we don't know what to expect. Everybody's just like surprised because they are defying everything. They even defy the Supreme Court order. You know what I mean? So they can just be like, everything that is pending is going to be only 6 months. You never know. But under regular circumstances, those who apply now, they will benefit from previous policy. It's just like the same if you apply for asylum today. They're not gonna come and say, oh, because the asylum fee is 1,000, bring the 1,000 for your pending asylum. That's not how it works. So, but again, you never know if this crazy, those crazy people, a lot of craziness going on. So you never know, okay? You never know with those crazy people. So that's why I'm just like I'm encouraging people who are eligible to file now. Because you never know if those people, one day they say this one, the next day they say this one. Uh, and sometimes you wonder, like, are those people for real? So anybody else, we're here to answer questions, live questions, please. Because if you don't have questions, I can just, hang up. We're here to answer questions live. I had some people ask questions. Let me see if I can find it. I had some questions online. People asked a lot of questions. I'm like, let me see if I can find it. Let's see if we can find the question that have been asked. I can't find it anymore. Wanted to see the question if I can find it to try to answer them now. Yeah, I can't find it anymore. Because some people, sometimes they ask a long question. I can't sit there and start answering it. Only come here to answer this question live right away. So I can't find it anymore. When you write the question after I'm already done, it's difficult for me to come and answer that. So I was trying to find it, if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. But meanwhile, if anybody else has a question, they can just, ask it. I'm trying to see if I can find the question here. Okay. Yeah, that was, yeah, I can't find it. But anyway, if you have a question, just put it in the comment. Okay. Whew. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, we have question. Let's see. Okay, good day. Did the new law for work permit already pass as an act? Well, I passed the House, not the Senate yet. Yeah. So anytime soon. But my prediction is by September 30th. That's what I think. But you never know with those people. Overstayed visa and went back home country and applied a 601 waiver and got approved after a year. Came back to the US. Will it affect if I take travel outside now? But you came back. Now you have your green card, right? Because if you went I-601 and got your visa outside to come back, so you have a green card, I believe, right? So if you have your green card and you don't have criminal records, I think you should be fine. Because the people who are being held at the airport for secondary questioning are those who have criminal record. Even if it's old criminal record, what this administration is doing is trying to revive those old cases. So yes, I have 10 years. Yeah, if you don't, the way you're gonna have to check, if you don't have criminal records, just check your own record, do a background check your own record. If you don't have criminal record, you should be fine traveling. Because I have clients who actually went home and came back. They don't have criminal record. So no problem traveling. I even have one, she's my cousin, my sister. We went with her to Canada on a green. She has a conditional green card, so we went to Canada and she came back. So no problem, and she's going home to next month. So there's no problem. The people who are being held at the airport for secondary questioning, those are the people who have criminal records. Okay, regardless of whether the criminal record is old. Somebody who even got arrested for the theft crime, I guess it was shoplifting, old shoplifting case. They got arrested. So because remember with the Lake and Wiley Act, even theft crimes requires mandatory detention. But the thing is, those are old things. But now they're like looking for something. Okay. Yeah. If you don't have anything, you don't have anything. So you don't have to worry about it. If you don't have anything, you don't have anything. It's the people who have something, they have to be concerned because they're going back and look at those. They're really looking at those old records. That's scary. Okay. What else? You're welcome. Been back and forth 9 times, different country, and now they are saying they will litigate old waiver case. What was your waiver about? Was it just for unlawful presence or was it a criminal type of waiver? Unlawful presence is nothing to litigate. We litigate misrepresentation. 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 I wouldn't really be concerned about that. The thing I'll be concerned is like a criminal charge, like a theft type of crime, larceny, assault, those type of crimes. You know what I mean? If it was just a misrepresentation of a fact, those are not really like something like a person will stay in jail for, in terms of you know what I mean. So as far as crimes are concerned, uh, yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about them reopening all the waiver cases. But if it's a crime related to theft or crime involving moral turpitude, yeah, then I'll be concerned, because now larceny requires mandatory detention. So, but if it's just like misrepresenting one fact that it doesn't require jail time, then I wouldn't be concerned. You know what I mean? Yeah. The people who should be concerned are the people involved in actual crimes that requires either a fine or a jail time. Especially now that theft crimes now require mandatory detention. So those are the people who have to be concerned, because by the time they're coming back, they're being placed in detention because of that theft crime. But the thing is that I find it really odd is that the crime is like for a long time ago. It has to be like the person who committed a crime after the Laken Valley Act passed, you know. But they're going even back in the days when theft crime didn't require mandatory detention. That's the problem. That's what is questionable. That's why you see a lot of lawsuits going on, because that's not how law works. You don't go backwards, you move forward. You know what I mean? So that's what is questionable. That's why a lot of people are filing lawsuits. Some lawsuits are really like working. You know what I mean? You know how they file a lawsuit against the administration based on the fact that um, they were terminating visas just like that, and the people won. You know what I mean? And they restored their visas back, the student visas type of case. And now they're suing Harvard. That's a different type. That's like a single out type of case. But those students where their student visas were terminated, unlawfully terminated, has been reinstated. You know what I mean? So those lawsuits work in terms of if it don't make sense, it don't make sense. You know what I mean? If I'm in your position, I wouldn't be concerned. Um, just that you have to, like, let's say you travel 3 times a year under this administration, just try to make it one time, just because you don't want them to be talking about abandonment of residency, stuff like that. So those are the things I will say. Okay? Okay. I don't know. Yeah, anybody else? We are wrapping up now. I don't think we have a lot of questions. Wrapping up. Asylum case got moved to immigration court. Which one? Which one are we talking about here? And candidate with domestic violence. Yeah, domestic violence is really bad. As far as especially if the person asking for asylum, they're not going to give, under this administration, domestic violence I don't think they're gonna give them asylum. Yeah, yeah, that's really bad. So they apply for asylum with USCIS, and then the case got referred to court. I guess because they saw domestic violence, those are violent crimes, and under the Lake and Riley Act, violent crime requires mandatory detention. So yeah, that's really bad. I mean, they have to really have a good, solid defense. Otherwise, it's just like gonna be the lawyer saying they can appeal and extend. Yeah, if they have, they can try to continue the case if they have, evidence. Oh Lord, this is gonna be. They're gonna arrest this guy. A lot of things going on. DUI, domestic violence. That's violent crimes. Yeah, this is a tough one to win. I mean, sometimes you have mitigated circumstances, but yeah, this is a tough one, to be honest. This this requires mandatory detention until the final decision of the judge. So I don't know if the person is out or inside. Is not in detention. I don't know. The person must be lucky not to be in detention at this point. What is your recommendation? Well, the person's just gonna go and defend themselves because they already have a court date. What else are they gonna do? So they're gonna try to postpone it, because maybe they have a reason to postpone the case, just to avoid being, because the moment they go to court, the judge is just gonna order remove. He's in probation now. Okay, yeah. So if they postpone the case, it's a good strategy for the lawyer, so they can delay the thing. Because the moment they go now to court, to be honest, they will get, if it's an individual hearing, it's just going to be ordered removed, because a lot of things, it's preventing the grant of asylum. Good moral character, lacking it. Yeah. Hello, Zach Gando. How are you? How are you? So, you're welcome. Hello, Zach Gando. Do you have a question? We're trying to wrap up here. If you have a question, please put it in the comment, okay? We're trying to wrap up here because we don't have a lot of questions. We want to wrap up and focus on something else. Okay, so do we have any question? If we don't have a question, um, Okay, let's see. Okay, Zach has a question. Okay, please, do you think in these days USCIS are respecting the policy? Are they taking consideration of lawyers and judges? Yes, USCIS is respecting the policy, but the thing is, um, they have discretion when it comes to granting waivers. So let's say, for example, a person is applying for a waiver. Um, because they have discretion under this current administration, um, out of 10 waivers, maybe they will grant 4 and deny 6. But under Biden administration, maybe they will grant, 8 waivers and deny 2 waivers. But as far as policy, they're still respecting the policy, because the policy says if a person has a for misrepresentation, they can apply for a waiver. So USCIS will require you to apply for a waiver. Now, because uh, they have discretion. I don't how they're using the discretion. It's like based on the current administration. And nowadays they're doing a lot of investigation. So yeah, they're really doing a lot of investigation to make sure that the case are yeah, to make sure that the case is not fraudulent, because too much things out of hands of lawyers and judge. Yes, so if you have a case, basically you file it. You have to just file the case properly. The lawyer will do the job to make sure that the case is filed the way it's supposed to be filed. Okay, but when it comes to discretion, uh, and those type of cases where they have discretions, for example, as I was talking about, waivers, for example, because they have discretions, sometimes they will deny based on discretion. You know what I mean? So that really has nothing to do with the lawyer. That mostly has to do with how they feel about the case. So yeah, but they're making a lot of mistakes too in terms of. But if a mistake has been made, you can always get it corrected. So you can always make get it corrected. So it's just how it works. Nothing you can do. um Hi, Esther, how are you? So yeah, we're just here. But remember, like, we're following the policy. If the policy says that this person qualifies, we file the case. If the person qualifies, the person qualifies. You're still gonna get your approval if you qualify. But when it comes to the cases where it's discretionary, that's when temperament gets into play too. Like, but if a person is black and white, the person qualifies. The person qualifies. There's nothing you can do. Like, we went to court. This person, uh, we asked the judge to terminate removal proceedings, and DHS did not have clear and convincing evidence. So the case got terminated. There's nothing DHS will do about it. You know what I mean? So if the person has a case, the person has a case. It's the cases that will have hard time are the cases that are like so and so. You know what I mean? But if a person has a case, the person has a case. The person will make their case. That's it. Nothing USCIS will do about it. Nothing the judge will do about it. Okay, my question, if your application can you say apply their actual policy to November, December, January. If you interview since November and you have no decision yet, there are two things you can do. You can file a lawsuit because 120 days has passed so that they can give you a decision, or you can try to get your congressman involved because 120 days has passed so they can give you a decision, because the policy says that after 4 months, 120 days, they have to give you a decision on an application for naturalization. If it's taking too long, you have options. Basically, you have options. You can file a lawsuit, you can compel them to give you a decision, or you can get some other people involved in the case. Okay. I have an internet-based master here in June. Internet-based is good. Nowadays, internet is better. Prayers for me. Yes, internet-based is good. So you have nothing to you at your house, nothing to be worried about. Congressman contacted, but they still need another 90 days. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you have options, right? Because if the congressman is taking too long as well, then you have your option to file a lawsuit. Yeah. So if you cannot file a lawsuit, then you're just gonna be waiting for the congressman to, yeah, just try to keep following up with congressman. I've had a case like that in Missouri where it took forever. So we just tried to follow up with congressman until we got it resolved. So because sometimes lawsuit is expensive, so you just, if the lawsuit is expensive, you just follow up, you get it resolved. Yeah, you never knew the new administration like they come to the house. It, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so, to be honest, at this point. If they wanted to come to the house, they would have done it already, like checking already, something on those lines. Um, yeah. The reason of the delay is basically if you see like it's taking too long, sometimes they want to deny it. So they're looking for a reasoning, because they have to have a reason as to why they're denying it. They have to write something. So sometimes it's in the hands of the supervisor and they're trying to come up with a reasoning as to why they want to deny it. So that's why it takes that long. What office is that? Like what service, what state are you in? What state are you in? Because sometimes it's just they have a lot of people. That's why I'm asking the state to have an idea if they have a lot of people or what. Mhm. South Carolina, Charlton. South Carolina, they don't really have that much people. Charleston. I don't think they have that much people. Yeah, I'll suggest if you don't have criminal record, there's nothing to worry about. But if you have criminal record, just know that they're looking for a reasoning how they're gonna deny it. Um, so what I'll suggest at this point is just follow up. Just follow up, follow up, follow up. That's it. Just follow up. Eventually, they will, usually people when it takes too long, they just file a lawsuit to get it done with. Uh, hardship argument. Yes, they can help. Financial hardship, it can help. Yeah, financial hardship can help. You just sometimes they just look at the totality of circumstances, and sometimes they just look at how many visas they already gave out. Because remember, they only have 4,000 visas for cancellation of removal for the entire country. So each circuit has their own quota. Um, those are the things you have to keep in mind as well. So yeah, I can't do the lawsuit. Yeah, you're gonna have to ask. Here in Maryland, lawsuits start. I cannot. First of all, I cannot do lawsuit for a case that is in Charlottetown, in North Carolina. I can only do Maryland and Washington D.C. because that's where I'm admitted in federal court. That's it. That's number one. Um, I can also recommend somebody in, if you were, let's say, in Texas. I work with lawyers where I can recommend in Texas as well. North Carolina, I don't know really people there, or South Carolina, I don't know people there in Carolina, in both Carolinas. Lawsuits, you have to, it, it's between, depending, right? I'm just gonna give you estimates on price ranges here in the DC areas between $8,000 to $10,000 because it involves a lot. So I don't know in your area how much people actually charge there. Are they arresting people at USA interview for citizenship? Yes, they did. They're looking at criminal records, misrepresentation. Yeah, those are the things they're arresting, especially crimes, even if it's old crime. They're arresting for that. Criminal record, misrepresentation. Yes. How long it takes to terminate the removal proceeding? Is the case open with a court date? Usually, if when the case is open, it only takes 2 weeks, 14 days. Uh, it's supposed to take 13 days, by the way. Sorry. Oh, my sinus is killing me. Anyway, so, and also, will they schedule another interview to approve the I-485? Right now, the scheduling interviews. At least out of 10 cases, 9 cases are being interviewed. So, no, the case is not pending. Motion to terminate. If the case is not pending, so your case, like have been already ordered removed, that will take forever. That it's just like depend on the judge. If the case is not that one, we don't know. You have no control over that because if the person has already been ordered removed, and then they're filing a motion to terminate after the deadlines, like after the 30 days. Yeah, that's up to the court now. Nobody knows when they're gonna respond to you, or if they're even gonna respond, because it's after the deadlines. Was it a joint motion? Like, did ICE agree to reopen and terminate your removal? There's no order of removal and no court date schedule. And why the case is pending if there's no date? Why this? I don't understand why this case is still pending. Yeah, I don't understand why your case is still pending if there's no court date and there's no order of removal. So if the case is open, I think you should call them. You should just call them and find out when they're gonna decide on your case, because the case is open. Somebody's gonna answer you. That's even easier to find out because the case is open. You call them. What are the examples of misrepresentation? Misrepresentation, basically, let's say the person, this one really, it's just going to get denied. Let's say, for example, the person was back home. They say they didn't mention that. Let's say the person came with a, those are example, let's say for a visa, lottery, people who come here with lottery, right? At the embassy, they say they don't have children. Then they come here, they start applying to bring their children. So when they go to the US citizenship for naturalization, then they list their children, then the officer will say, but how come when you went to the interview at the consulate, you never mentioned children? Then they'll come up with reasons. Oh, I didn't know that I had children. The girlfriend never told me, blah, blah, blah. If it's a man, sometimes that reasoning might pass, but if it's a woman, it's just going to get denied because you failed to mention children. That's misrepresentation. Um, those are examples. Criminal records, basically, that will disqualify if the criminal in question, aggravated felony, just forget it. It's disqualified forever. But some other criminal record like DUI and stuff like that, especially if it's done within the 5 years, it's disqualified because the person lacks good moral and character. It gets disqualified under good moral and character. If the person has a criminal record, any criminal record gets disqualified if it's within the 5 years of the application. So unless it's kind of long time ago, then you have an argument. But if it's like within that 5 years, the person gets disqualified. That's it, for lacking good moral and character. So that's how it works. Okay, we talked for 1 hour. Okay, that's it. If a person needs a consultation, they should just schedule it. If not, we'll come back. If we have I have a couple interviews with USCIS this week, so I might not come back for live session, but I might make videos, especially if the interview goes well. I might make videos. If you need a consultation, you can always schedule it. Consultation link is in my bio. Until next time, bye bye.